Is everybody ready?
Yes,
We're
sir.
ready.
I
We
will call
are
the
ready.
meeting to order. The first item is to adopt tonight's agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded to adopt tonight's agenda. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Item 3 is to approve the minutes from the April 9th, 2024 meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes as submitted.
I'll second.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve the minutes. All in favor, or I'm sorry, any discussion?
They will do the typos, right?
Did
There
you
are
find a
typos?
bunch?
Yep, second page, third paragraph. Mixed use instead of mixed us.
Ooh, yeah.
And I've read them, and I'm usually good about that. Apparently not that good.
Got that one noted?
Easy one to
Where
miss.
is it again?
Third paragraph.
Line 7.
Second page.
Yep, got it.
Did you find it, Sue?
No.
Third paragraph where it says
thing we all get along.
mixed us instead
Oh, I
of
didn't
mixed
even
use.
see that.
It's because your brain is actually fixing it while you're reading it.
Yeah,
Yep.
great.
That was the only typo I saw.
Mixed juice.
Anybody have anything else?
Nope.
So, let's see, the motion is to approve it with that correction. And it's been seconded. All in favor, say aye.
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 And the minutes are approved. Item 4, park financial information.
No changes on the park capital funds from last month. We sit at 77,000 in our park acquisition and development fund and 194,000 in the park capital fund. We still have 50,000 set aside for Coon Lake Beach that will come out of there this year. We have about 75,000 for the Booster West Skateboard Park that will come out this year. And we have about 20 to 25,000 for the Baton Trail that still has to come out this year. That's all reflected when we get into the capital improvement planning. The starting balance should reflect about where we're gonna be starting next year, so. On the operations side, no big surprises there. We're sitting at about a third of the way through the year, so. Getting into our busy season for the parks right now, but, nothing big has come up for that, so.
Do we get some people hired?
We are still taking applications. We were able to reduce the age down to 16. The League of Minnesota Cities changed that requirement. We found out in 2020, we weren't aware of that. A bunch of cities still had it as 18, but we noticed some were hiring at 16, so we did some more research and they kind of relaxed the requirements on that. There's some things that they can't do, but for what we needed, they can do everything that we'd be using summer help for. So if you know of anybody, we're taking applications. Spread the word.
Cool.
So
Do they apply through the website? Or?
you can go through the website or drop off. I think it's on the League of Minnesota Cities page, and it's on. Carrie posted it on another site too. It might have been Indeed.
Can we post it on the school's website somewhere? Do they have job?
They had a job fair there not too long ago. We missed out on that. We found out about it after the fact, but yeah, we can check on that. If they have a bulletin board there.
Yeah, they might have a bulletin board, or if you go through the guidance office, they might be able to post something.
Would that be St. Francis?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it can be Forest Lake too. We could check on that.
Maybe
mean, the kids
Cambridge
here-
too, maybe? I Santee, no,
well,
Cambridge? I don't
East
know,
Bethel
is it-
kids go to Forest Lake.
Oh, they
or
do?
St.
Okay.
Francis.
Okay. All right.
Little Kansas going on.
No guessing who that was.
Any other questions on the operations side of the budget?
No.
All right, moving on. Item 5, sidewalk and trail ordinance review.
This was an item we've had at a couple meetings for discussion. We've kind of postponed it till we had the full commission here, but attached to section 66-165 of the city code, that guides the installation of sidewalks and trails in new developments. The ordinance requires sidewalks and trails to be installed on new city roads based on the type of zoning for the development and the type of street being built. The city council decides on any exceptions from this ordinance. Staff is requesting a review of the ordinance and if needed, any recommended updates or revisions. At the January 9th, 2024 Park Commission meeting, staff was asked to research the possibilities of having the trail dedication fees in lieu of trail construction and new developments. The item was tabled at the March 12th, 2024 meeting and the April 9th, 2024 meeting. Staff have researched other cities in the metro area and the results are listed below. So we weren't able to find a lot of cities that had trail dedication fees. 3 of them that we found were City of Ramsey, City of Andover, and City of Chicago. And then the amounts are shown there as well.
Is that because they just included in their whole park dedication fees? Like,
It's separate
They
from their
just
park
build it in?
dedication fee. It's just part of their building and zoning permits. When a developer comes in, this is all given to them along with park dedication fees on top
the
of
cities
this.
that don't have a separate one, right?
Correct. Oh yeah, the other ones are built into their park dedication fees. Yep, sorry.
Or maybe they have a trail requirement, so instead of a fee, like, I guess, I'm thinking like, Isanti or somebody, they don't have a trail fee.
They have an ordinance like
They
similar to
might have
ours.
an ordinance that says they have to have a trail.
There are some that have stuff similar to that, correct, yes.
Because
Okay.
what does Andover do? They put signs up for their trails, right?
As far as,
When, I've noticed that when I drive past, sometimes there's a sign that says such and such a trail. So I'm wondering if, when they build their developments, do they just put the trail in there?
correct, yep. Most of those developments in Andover are part of the development. The developer builds it. If the trail is not, if it's a development that's not an area that has part of their trail plan, then they use the trail dedication fees. I think they actually use that on top of the trails in Andover. They're pretty hardcore when it comes to their trails over there right now.
In Andover.
In Andover.
Yeah. And I noticed that, Al, you had said start low and go high, but we always get stuck at low.
Yeah. Starting low is never a good
We
idea.
should go middle
Yeah,
ground or
true.
something.
I can tell you from experience, it's really hard to raise a
Yeah,
price once you've
it
got it.
is.
It's really easy to lower it, but it's really hard to raise it.
Yeah, that makes
Mhm.
sense.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
The other thing I saw was this was going to go into a fund earmarked strictly for trails. My only concern with that is we did have a fund that was earmarked for trails.
And the money
that-
disappeared.
The money disappeared when the city got into financial difficulties, and the fund disappeared.
This would be a little bit different. So that fund was a capital fund transfer from the general fund. This is an actual dedication from the developer. So like our park dedication fees, those can only be used for parks. They can't be taken out of there. But the park capital fund, which comes from the general fund, can be taken out in times of, if the council wanted to do that. So this would be separate, kind of like it can only be used for trails if it's a trail dedication fee.
Okay, because at one time, we had $180,000 in a trail fund that,
Yep,
Some of
And
us
grant
don't
money.
forget.
Yeah,
No.
and we had grant money that we had to give back.
yep.
so-
And that came from the general fund transfers.
okay.
So that was not earmarked specifically for trails, and it got poached.
So the hope is that doesn't happen again.
I think
No,
we should
but
make
it
it,
would not
Well,
happen
It
again.
can't.
It can't if it's a
Can't happen.
trail
If
dedication.
it's in a dedication fund.
The only thing that can happen is they can give it back to the developer.
Oh, okay,
Same with land, park dedication land, we can't sell that land.
okay,
It can be given back to the developer
okay.
who dedicated it.
Well, that sounds like a win-win then for us, if we do that. I think we should.
So in the rural, or in the R1 and R2,
Mhm.
those are like the high density areas?
Yeah, R1 is close to the 65 for the most part. The real high density are typically gonna be in a PUD. So it'd be, totally separate than all this.
So R1 and R2 are is it Viking Preserve over there by Viking, by the water tower?
That's R1, yep.
Okay,
But there is some neighborhoods that are R1 that are on acreage as well,
okay.
that were pre-existing when they changed the zone, I should say, the zoning.
And if we put it in there as an option, like there has to be a trail or a dedication fee, does the city council then decides if it's, which one it's gonna be, right?
Correct, it would be just like our park dedication, you guys would make a recommendation on it, and then they could listen to your recommendation, or,
The higher density locations, I'm thinking it's more important to have a trail, a sidewalk, a place for people to recreate or whatever, walk. So as long as we have that option still, I would be in favor of leaving that portion, well, doing it all for all of it, if we can have the option. So then is it just we pick an amount?
that's part of it as well, yep. And whatever we decide here, I wanna bring it to the planning commission too, to have them weigh in on it, cause this is gonna affect some of their stuff as well. So the council has both groups weighing in on it. So like Viking, the Viking Preserve is built to R1 standards, but I think it's actually gonna end up being a PUD. And with a PUD, planned urban development, the rules kinda go out the window. And they can require them to do trails on every road, they can do a lot of different things then.
So the council still decides on exceptions to this ordinance, though, regardless of what we put in there.
Correct, yep.
Problem with that is if they start granting exceptions, all of a sudden it just doesn't exist anymore.
That's the problem with the city code process, you can get variances and exceptions and stuff like that, so. That's one thing Tim mentioned, he wants something kind of black and white that they doesn't put the pressure on them to make exceptions, to say this is what it is, here's the amount, if you wanna develop, this is what it's gonna cost.
That'd be nice.
So the exceptions are being made now because this ordinance doesn't make sense. And so if there was a middle, a better ordinance that kind of made more sense, it would be harder to do that because have they made any park exceptions to the park dedication
No.
fees
No,
recently?
I thought they lowered it when they were working with Capstone.
they took park land dedication and park fees, and it actually was way more than it would have been in either one by itself.
That was actually a pretty good deal.
Yeah.
How do we craft this, though, so that it doesn't allow for exceptions? Or at least makes it more difficult?
Well,
I don't
and
know that we
then,
can completely eliminate exceptions, but that's a slippery slope. Once they start making exceptions, the next guy that comes in goes, well, you did this for these guys,
right,
I want it too.
which is what's happening a lot.
Right.
But then what about if I'm a smaller developer and I'm only doing like 5 houses? Or 6 houses, so do we put an exception in for them to not have to pay the whole amount, whatever it is?
Well, they're just gonna put it onto the lot, but what the
So-
lot fee is.
So if you have, like, say you have a 20-acre lot and you wanna split into 2, you still have to pay the park dedication on the other lot. So on the park dedication side, so I would imagine if you are gonna do a trail dedication, it'd be the same idea.
So you'd still have to pay for
You still have
both.
to pay the whatever, if there's a dollar amount or whatever, yeah. Cause at the same time, if you were doing it that way and they were just splitting it into 2 homes, they would basically fall under RR and you'd have to put a trail on one side of the street if you're going by the ordinance, which makes no sense. If they're adding a
Well, and I'm
road to
thinking
it.
too, if they're sharing a driveway, if it's your mother-in-law or somebody,
Yeah,
you might share a driveway instead of having separate driveways. Not that. I'm just putting it out there. That would be probably something they need a variance for, right?
Yep. Shared driveways need a variance.
I'm thinking like in the neighborhood I live in, I don't think it would make sense to have trails there
Right.
on the road. However, there are a couple spots where, you know, cul-de-sacs, dead end or whatever. In my neighborhood, there's what, 3 of those? Where you could take and connect a trail through there or something. You know, something like that would have been nice when that was developed.
Absolutely, yep.
So, you know, again, I go back to, you put in a trail like the ordinance says along the road, or you take that money and do a little something, a little segment somewhere in the neighborhood. So maybe that balance is, what's that amount you would take in lieu of the trail?
Yep.
You know, is it $500 or $1,000 per home to have a little something to work with?
Right.
And maybe the land too. You know, now, if you went to those neighbors in my neighborhood and said you wanted to put the trail in there, it would be, it wouldn't happen.
You'd
You know, if
never
it was
get the right of
platted
way.
that way,
Yep.
if that
Right.
land was dedicated, not necessarily put the trail in, but the land was marked for that, plus the little dedication fee.
Like
That someday it
like
could
a
go
connection to John Anderson off of a cul-de-sac with dedicated land, something like that, kinda?
Right.
Yep.
Yep. Or even back here, when we're trying to get the trail to
Right
go
back here, yep.
to Booster, and they were like, not in my backyard.
Right.
And that's what we have to kind of look at when we get the plats that come in, when we talk about park dedication. Traditionally, that trail, that dedicated trail piece would be park dedication. That's kind of how they did it with the project on Baton that Steve Strandland did. The Baton Trail, the first part of it, we took the dedicated trail land as part of their park dedication. Probably could have used this ordinance on it, looking back in hindsight, but you know, kind of want to work with the developers at the same time too. It was back when there wasn't much going on, so.
Especially when it's a city business, because they're always good to us, for the most part.
So yeah, I like that idea, and it's gonna come come down to like I said, when the plats come into the park commission for review.
So what's the next step? Come up with a fee amount?
So were you thinking, Bill, about having both, the land dedicated plus a fee?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
It could be that way. If we don't dedicate the land right away,
Right, oh yeah, I understand what you're
then
saying.
the trail, you know, it's never gonna go.
Right,
Even if we dedicate the land, it's still gonna be a challenge.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
After the fact.
So it's coming up with a way to get the trails in there right away. And, you know, if we said $1,000 or something, I don't have a good sense of what's that gonna get us.
yeah.
You
What's
know,
$1,000
$1,000
do?
It doesn't get you very much.
No,
You know,
Can't imagine.
20, see, you have traditionally, we were having a lot of these developments come in, they're 40 acres or 20 lots on there, $1,000 or $20,000, that'll get you a couple blocks of trail. So it might be enough to connect 2 cul-de-sacs, you know, something like that. The trail we're doing on Baton right now is 2 blocks long, we're doing a lot of the work ourselves, and it's gonna be around $25,000.
I know at one time we had talked about making wider roads too, so that bikes could be on the side, one way or the other. Is that still something we're interested in?
For more like collector roads or neighborhood streets?
Neighborhood streets, probably.
Actually, for neighborhood streets, the push is to kind of make them narrower now,
Really?
just for cost and maintenance and overtime. They're recommending going down to smaller streets, actually.
Can a fire truck still fit through there?
Oh yeah, they're still full
I want
width.
to say,
but
I've heard about Whispering Aspen.
we have
so-
some neighborhoods where you could land an airplane on, and when it comes time to do like an overlay or, you know, patch or anything, the price is another third on top of it because there's so much blacked up on the road. And you have that much more impervious surface, that much more rainwater running off of it.
Smaller, narrower streets is another argument for good trails.
yeah.
Yeah.
I like the way you think.
Did your computer die?
I don't know, this thing usually lasts.
Well, something flashed and then,
Oh, did it? See, it was low battery?
I didn't see it.
Well, we don't need it, but.
No, we've got the hand.
it was something above Tim. I thought maybe it was God.
I didn't get struck down.
He's still here.
So what do you guys think about starting with it as an option, like it, you know, it's,
One or the
you
other.
either put in a trail like it's written now,
Yeah.
or you collect,
Yeah,
you know, I'll just throw it out, $1,000
Yeah.
per unit, which is not the lowest amount, but it's
Right.
almost the lowest amount.
right.
In the chart that we have. So it gives us something that we could put
Gets
back into that neighborhood or somewhere near there,
Mhm.
or bank it until we can connect a nice trail somewhere in the area.
Right.
No, I think that's a good idea.
I do too.
So
It
we're
would
doing
be-
either or? Either
It'd
or?
be
Mhm.
more in line with the same park
The
dedication.
park
Yes.
dedication, yeah.
Process, right?
It gives us the option, instead of just saying, no, we're not taking and building the trail, well, then we can get a little something at least
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
to put back to trails for our community.
Would that include having the right of way though?
It could,
Not necessarily make them build the trail, but we want the right of way to begin with.
it could.
Because like you said, if we don't get the right of way to begin with right off the bat,
It's never gonna happen,
no.
yeah.
Even with the right of way, it's very difficult to get a trail in.
Yep.
But at least if we have the right of way ahead of time, we've got.
You can
a
show
better
it was there.
chance.
Yeah,
Yeah, and we could put some signs up. We do that sometimes on our roads, like this road may extend in the future. We could have a sign that says this trail could be put in
Yep.
here or something like that.
right.
This is a future location of a trail or something.
Future trail location.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could get behind that.
Yeah,
Mhm.
me too. I like
Yeah,
it.
it's just, anything we give up is so difficult to get back.
Right.
Exactly.
Makes
Look how
sense.
hard it has been to readjust this ordinance in itself.
Yeah.
Yep.
Are we saying 1,000?
We look at each other. Do you think it should be higher, Tim?
I always think it should be higher. I'm the wrong one to ask on that.
Well, we kind of agreed to go in the middle.
How about
You can get behind
1,200?
that.
But. yeah, I mean,
1,200?
Yeah, cause if you think about, if Andover is doing both, that really, their cost is a lot higher than $1,000 it shows here.
Mm-hmm.
1,200
So,
sounds good.
Yeah. I
Let's
think
start
so.
out high, like Tim said, and see what happens.
You can always go backwards.
Yeah,
Sure.
And if we're not gonna require them to put in a trail plus give us the $1,200, but we are gonna require them to give us a right of way.
so what do we do
Okay.
next?
Gotta figure out how to craft it.
Someone can make a motion if you wanna have, park dedication fees in lieu of, or excuse me, trail dedication fees in lieu of this trail requirement. Set at 12,000 per unit or 1,200 per unit. I can craft that and get it to the planning commission. Or I can do a draft and bring it back to you guys to approve too, if you'd rather see it that way. Either way, there's no real rush on this. We don't have any development coming down the road anytime real soon, but.
Well, I think we need to have the $1,200 plus right of way, if nothing else.
Do you want to make a motion, Tim?
Sure, I'll make a motion to that effect.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll second.
Okay, a motion's been made and seconded to have the option to have a trail dedication of $1,200 per unit plus right-of-way on the new developments.
In lieu of the,
In lieu of trail
In
construction.
In
trail
lieu of the
construction.
trail itself.
Sounds
Any
good.
more discussion?
No?
Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.
All right.
Made progress on that one tonight. Woo-hoo.
Item 6, Maynard Peterson Park and Coon Lake Beach Park improvements.
This is also a continuation from our last couple of meetings. We had $50,000 set aside still after the initial 50,000 was, for purchasing the playground, and we were trying to decide how we wanted that to be spent. It sounds like the Coon Lake Beach Community Center had a vote.
Yep.
And, maybe one of you guys wanna kinda take it from there and kind of explain the results and what the consensus was?
Bonnie, do you want to? Or do you want me to?
Yeah, we did 2 surveys, I call them surveys, and, one was with the seniors at a senior event, and the other one was at our annual meeting. And we gave everyone, we showed pictures and we did a video of the rail rider.
Mm-hmm.
And it was overwhelmingly, the people overwhelmingly voted on the rail rider versus the half pipe,
pipe.
which we were kind of vacillating between the two. And we also gave them in the survey the option of the 2 other things, the cornhole game and the umbrella. And the cornhole came in second, the umbrella third, and the half pipe was last.
Yeah, so what we did is we asked everybody to rank the 4 items
First choice,
by
second choice.
their own choice, first, second, third, and fourth.
Right.
So that's how we came up with the,
It was kind of a
The
rank
ranking there.
choice voting on it.
yep, they ranked them and we just totaled up the ranking, and that's where the numbers came from, so. Totaled
Lower
up-
being highest.
Yeah,
Yeah.
low is high, high is low.
Yeah.
So it's like
Counterintuitive.
Yeah,
That's like golf then.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
See, Al
Yep.
said that tonight
That's
as
right.
we were talking about it.
low score
Just
is
think
good.
of golf.
So was there a difference in the preference from your annual meeting as opposed to the senior meeting?
No,
No.
Same,
same.
Yeah.
same?
Mhm.
Yep,
That's interesting.
yep.
Yep.
They were very excited about this. Very excited about that.
Did you have a good turnout? A lot of people voted?
A lot of people. We had 83 people that responded out of our, I think it's 200.
And that was just at the 2 meetings. It
Yeah.
wasn't a door-to-door thing.
Right. We could have taken it even further, but we felt like we got a pretty good cross poll, you know.
So it was mostly local
Cross-section.
residents then, I assume,
Yes.
right? So it
Yes.
wasn't just people who have cabins and.
Oh, no. Mm-mm.
Almost total.
Total local people.
Mhm.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yep. Almost.
So if we were to go with the rail rider, at that site, we're talking about taking out the whole skateboard park, then pad everything,
Yep.
And we expressed that
Yep.
understood that.
to everyone that they
Okay.
were aware.
Yep.
And then the, beanbag cornhole games would be at the Coon Lake Beach area, or would they be at the Maynard Peterson area?
Maynard Peterson, I thought, I didn't know if there was room at,
Would there be room at the Coon Lake, the community center?
Mm,
if
so
there
tight in
was,
there.
it would probably
I think it would be
Get
used
used
more
more.
be
there.
used more, yeah.
Yeah, I really do.
I
And the
just-
park itself, I don't know if there's enough room right there,
So
maybe,
tight in there.
maybe if this, well, if the community center wanted to buy a set and put them behind on the other side,
On the lakeside?
on the lake side,
In the front?
yeah.
I think it'll get used just because of the rail rider. It'll give
Adults something to
adults
do
or
while they're
kids
there.
or Another thing to do
Yeah.
besides.
They don't take up a lot of room, they're like, I think it's 30 feet or 30 feet between, back to back on them, something like that. They're not, it's not a huge area. We can look at that a little bit more. Those are pretty cheap, $1,800 per set. And then so for the rail rider, were they talking about the dual one?
Yeah,
Yeah.
if we
With the-
could,
With the 0G seat, the adaptive seat, and then the regular
yes,
Yeah.
rope swing?
right,
Mhm.
if that's possible.
Yep, one
Yeah.
of each.
They were, let's see, the 50-foot was about 38,000 with one of each seat on there, so. It would, we could make it, those 3 things work in the budget
It would
if it's.
be a
That would be
dream come true.
amazing. Oh my gosh, people would be, they're so excited. They're just so excited to hear that we're gonna get a rail rider that will possibly, because we kept saying, well, it's gotta go to the commission, then it's gotta go to city council, we gotta make sure everything goes, but they're really excited about the change.
After speaking with you guys, I went over and checked out that park in Hugo one day. That's quite the facility they have
Isn't
there.
Yeah,
that
that is
something,
quite a
that
park.
Lions Park?
Yep, it's
Yeah.
their
Now,
main,
were we right,
an
was it like a 50-footer?
that one was, I
Lions
think that
Park's
one
smaller,
was
but they're not
35.
put together by the city.
I
It's put
have it in my
together by
notes.
Lions
I
Club.
remember now.
But I don't care, it was so fun.
Well,
Is it-
longer's better.
that one
in
right
my
at
opinion,
61?
Whatever we can fit.
Yeah,
Okay.
Should be able-
Yep.
I could
If
measure
it's
it.
within our budget, I would love to see a 50-footer
I
myself.
went and looked at it too, I don't remember what the length was on it.
yeah, it's,
Yeah, budget-wise, 50-footer should work.
Yeah, and that will fit over there too nicely. That park that they had there though, that was, with the community center that they built was 4.5 million.
I believe it.
Yeah.
So it would take us
We need
45
some
years
major
at our.
sugar daddies.
It was pretty incredible though.
That is
You know,
quite-
for us just to
quite the
come and
park.
bring our grandkids there, they must have played for hours while
Yeah.
we were there. It was a beautiful day last summer, and oh my gosh, they were just ecstatic to be there.
Yeah.
So,
So how many cornhole sets are you looking at?
Just one set.
Well, you got enough to do,
Yeah.
with 50,000, you can do
Maybe
that
it's-
double sky run, the cornhole set, and your shade structure.
Yeah, you could do a couple of them. If
Yeah.
you wanted to have a little tournament or something.
oh, that
going.
might be
Sure.
fun.
You could do
Yeah.
2 cornhole sets and still come in
And
under
the
budget.
umbrella?
Yeah, and
And
the
the,
umbrella.
she wants that umbrella over in the park, over that for the moms and dads that
Well,
bring
that's,
their
you
kids
need,
up.
you can't sit out in the sun.
It's so hot.
Yeah.
Do we have enough in our budget for that?
We should,
If you
yeah.
add those 3 up, it
50,000, yeah.
comes to 48 grand, just under
I
48,000.
can just see Bonnie's wheels just a turning. What else could we get?
You might be able to get the stuff discounted too with, some of our cooperative purchasing ventures we're part of too, so.
Oh, that'd
I'll
be
know, I won't know that till I get actual pricing from the
Did
vendors. but-
that quote for the cornhole include the freight?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, good.
the what?
The
Freight.
Freight.
They're
Oh, yeah.
concrete,
Yeah,
so they're
that's
they're
gotta
not,
be-
they're not gonna
Yeah.
be
I
cheap
was
to
kind of
ship.
concerned
I
with
think
that.
they were around $1,300 before freight and tax and shipping and all
Do
that,
they
so
come with bags?
They did not.
They don't. So what's our thought on that? Are we going to have some bags at the community center, purchase them, and then just, if people want to check them out?
Well, if we get enough, I think we should at least start out with the set and see how it rolls. I
Yeah.
mean, we could always put them in the gang box. Oh, that was the other thing. Can we get a gang box, a different one, like a better one?
At the Maynard Peterson?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Let's-
one-
Let's see where we're at with all this. and
Okay.
we'll go from
Shoot for
there.
the moon, ladies.
I'm
Sure.
sure if we needed to, we could go to the community center and have them help us buy some bags, you know?
Yeah, they're not very,
Yeah,
They're not.
Big.
I
And
think that
maybe
would
people
happen.
probably make them,
sometimes bring
you can
their
make them
own.
too. They're-
Right.
You
You
know,
know,
Do you
I've
have a
had,
quilt
I've,
club or whatever?
I've had them made before and they fell apart.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, after a few times throwing them, they just kind of, I don't know if somebody,
I just bought some at, like Home Goods for the 4th of July.
Did
They come
you?
in a big plastic box.
yeah,
Just a set of them. It was real cheap.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think we
And
could
people
get
could
them.
just, you know,
People-
bring their own.
They could bring their own, you
Yeah.
could have a set to check out, you know.
Yeah, yeah. I think we can work that out. If she could get her game box for Maynard Peterson, that would be really nice.
But we should, if we can, start with one set.
Yeah, it'd be nice
See
to
if
have something
people,
there.
You know, don't steal them and stuff like that, you know.
Yeah.
Or you use them against each other when your
Yeah.
brother's standing there.
Yeah, could you just see the kids? Oh,
I'm
my
also
Lord.
thinking, just a little sidebar about having a little event
Like
for
a grand
both.
opening,
for both, yeah.
a ribbon
A
cutting
little ribbon
ceremony.
Cutting for both of the
That would be really fun.
parks.
We're gonna start on the playground fairly soon. As soon as my street sweeping guys are done, we
You'll
can
let
free.
us know, cause the rental person is concerned about rentals, and I said, well, it's gonna be during the week, and our rentals are mostly on the weekend, but as soon as I know, I will let you know.
It'll probably be down for about a week to 10 days. We can tear it out in a day, we can install it in a day, but then we gotta do, the concrete's gotta harden, and then we have to put the safety mulch in and stuff like that, so. And the weather, you never know with the weather too, but. It goes pretty quick, the guys have done a lot of them, so they know what they're doing, so.
And you're thinking time frame, just guesstimate?
First part of June,
Okay, great.
street sweepers have
It'll
a,
be done.
I said
Well, a third of
July,
the city- quarter
probably
of the
for
city left.
sure by July.
yeah,
Like, June
yeah,
would
we
be
should
great.
be, knock on wood, you know, no storms or anything like that.
And that would be just Coon Lake Beach Park, not
Yep.
the Maynard Peterson.
No, the Maynard, we have to order that, that's probably, the rail rider might not be until fall.
Yep, that's what I shared.
To ship, the order lead times on a lot of the stuff is quite a ways out. 3-4 months at a time. It might be even, at the worst, next spring yet even, depending on it.
We can live with that if we have to.
I would imagine August if I had to guess, kinda how it's been.
You might get it by August,
Yeah.
yeah. So you may be able to get it in this fall then?
If we get it in August, we can for sure get it in,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
If we can get enough volunteers, I was thinking about a ball game, a cornhole tournament, and some food and,
Just have a big celebration.
Yep.
yeah.
Sounds
If
like a
we
good
can,
idea.
if we get the volunteers
Mhm.
and the moolah,
I'm sure we can get the money from the community center. I'm sure we can. They'll be so excited about it.
So Nate, do you want a summary on what it is? Do you have it all?
I think I got it all. We're gonna order the two or double,
Rail rider?
rail ride, different names for this
The
one they call
50-footer.
it Kid Cruise or whatever.
The 50-footer, right?
50-footer with the, 2 different kinds of seats on there. We'll probably, we might just order up 2 beanbag things right away. If we don't, we can put them in Booster Park or something too. Shipping sometimes is easier when we order
Oh,
multiples.
sure.
And then, the umbrella for the bench there at the Coon Lake Beach Park.
And that's the second bullet, the shade structure?
Yeah, yep.
Okay.
You care, do you have a color preference?
color for the Rail Rider?
And
No.
the shade?
For the shade?
I like the blue Rail Rider myself.
What about the shade?
But I'm colorblind, was it blue?
I really seriously don't remember.
Well, the rest of our parks are all green and brown.
Yeah, we should stay consistent with the colors in the parks.
And yeah, what,
And-
what color was the equipment that we were getting for the shade structure?
The shade structure?
Yeah.
It
Oh,
looks
we're
like-
talking
no.
this right now?
It
Okay.
looks like this, green, beiges, dark browns.
Then
It's
that
kinda
way you
been
don't
our-
have to worry about matching the colors if something gets broken.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Some of the brighter colors tend to fade and
Sure.
age quickly. We've had pretty good luck with the more natural colors, just kind of keeping their,
I'm
They don't-
fine with
their new
anything.
appearance to it.
Looks
They don't
good right
fade.
there.
I'm totally, Bonnie, are you okay?
With what?
The colors?
the
Green,
umbrella?
beige? No, this
No.
is no for the Rail Rider.
I'm still kind of stuck on this blue guy, but I guess,
I
don't-
think what color is the sky swing that's down there?
the one that, I swear it was blue.
I think
Oh, you
But
mean
you
the
said you're
little
colorblind.
spinner
it is. The
guy?
spinner thing that's at,
I want to say it's red, but I don't know for sure.
Somebody better go down there and look.
I think it's blue and beige.
Oh, there we go, blue sky rider.
You probably see it way more than we do, because we don't go down there very
I think it's
often.
navy blue and beige, I want to say.
That's
Well-
funny.
I'll drive through that parking lot and I'll send an email.
Yeah, snap a picture, just,
Yeah, you got me thinking, oh,
Skyrider alert.
it could be a different piece of
We're keeping
equipment that was
that,
at the
right?
other park. And
so I'll need to
Yeah.
know the color right away when we order it.
Yeah, because we already moved it from one park.
I totally forgot we had that there. See, I never go down there.
What happens when your kids
Look,
get
when we-
big?
When we
Yes.
drive by,
We'll
yeah.
probably create a, we'll tie in that other sky rider thing that's down there into one big piece too, so it's not separate,
Oh,
Yep.
that'll be cool.
make it look a lot cleaner.
Oh, I can't wait. This'll be so
Okay, that's
exciting.
good direction on that one.
The
You want-
reason I kind
you
of
wanna-
like the blue,
Oh, the,
if it was blue, was because of the sky. I mean, I just sat back and looked at it, and I'm like, ooh, they're riding in the sky.
Oh, the Sky Rider.
The problem with the blue ones is they fade so bad. Blue fades so bad.
But it
And
was
red.
kind of a light blue. I got a picture of it.
Do you want a motion on it, Nate?
I don't need a
the
motion, this has
color?
already been approved, the
Okay.
money and stuff, I just
Okay,
looking for
Moving
direction.
on.
What about the
Umbrella.
umbrella?
Bonnie, what
Blue.
color do you want the umbrella? What color is the bench? Is
The bench, I believe, is brown, isn't it?
Yeah, the bench is,
I'm
You should have made us take pictures before we came.
the bench is
Is it a cream color?
like wood colored.
So, and the equipment coloring will be blue and,
It'll be brown, the equipment itself will
Brown
be
and
brown, beige, green and dark green.
oh, so maybe we should go green.
green.
You don't want
Yeah,
like
I
a
think
dark
green would
brown
be
though,
better.
'cause that'll always.
Can you get it in-
icky.
Can you get it in green?
Oh, yeah,
Kind of to match the
Yep.
ensemble?
okay.
Make it all look cohesive. Is that the word? Cohesive? Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Okay.
As long as Bonnie's happy, we'll go on to item in front. The twenty
Bonnie's
twenty-four,
looking for that blue sky rider.
the 24 to 28 park capital improvement planning.
Thank you, guys. I'm thrilled.
Me too.
Are you looking for the pictures of the one from Hugo?
Yeah. Here it is.
It's white with
Isn't it blue?
teal, the rails are teal, and a yellow swing.
Yes. Okay, pass this around. I just thought the blue with the sky. That's just me.
The blue sky rider.
It's
Oh, yeah, aqua, it's aqua.
aqua teal. I just,
Yeah.
for me, it was it's all about.
Kind of like the ocean, you know, kind
Yeah.
of sea coast or whatever. What color does that
Seafoam.
look like to you?
Seafoam. There's another color. Aqua.
That looks like it's a teal blue. Like a teal.
Do you want to see? Can you see it? I got it. Yeah, we're good.
I mean, you can make it
Nice.
whatever color you want. I'm just pleading why I like the blue.
All right, moving on.
All right, item
Our
7.
favorite part.
Park capital improvement plan. We've kind of discussed this for the last 2 meetings as well. I put together kind of what all of our comments were on the draft. We're looking for a motion from the Parks Commission. We're trying to get this to the city council at their next meeting, so you don't have to go with the exact draft if you want to make some changes, but at the end of the night here, I'd like to have something final to present to them if you want to make any additions or subtractions. The main thing is what's going to take place in 2025. The other ones are not set in stone, so let's kind of keep that in mind too. So the first page is the Park Acquisition and Development Fund. We're predicting a starting balance of 97,000 in there. The 363,000 is what's planned from the Viking Meadows park dedication. And then what we spend on the park is going to kind of depend on how much of that we spend out of that amount. If I put 350 in there, it could be a lot more, it could be a lot less. I guess it can't be a lot more, it's up to 360, but
Well, and if
be
I
a lot
remember
less.
right, they were just going to filter the money to us as houses were sold.
Correct,
So
it's-
we don't
there's-
know for sure what we're getting next.
yep, it could be over 3 years. So we just have to stockpile that until we have enough to develop the park, basically, on that one. And then going down, we're just kind of predicting 40,000 a year going forward, but that can vary a lot. That's like needing a crystal ball to figure out how much we're gonna have in there.
Right.
We kept the booster ball field lights in there as a placeholder. I don't know, that was something that the community had talked about and wanted for a long time.
And we've moved it a couple times already.
Yeah, just the amount is the big thing. It's 350,000. It's 3.5 of our annual budget.
Jeez.
Problem
3.5
is,
years.
we keep moving it out, though, and it just gets to be more expensive.
Right.
That too.
Mhm.
So that's really all we have planned on there. We had a park pavilion in 2026. We had a couple different parks that we were looking at. That Northland was one. I still get people coming to us looking to develop Bondi into something. It's such a large, nice area that's not really close to houses, but
Yep.
we don't have anything set in stone for that one yet either.
We just have a couple baseball fields there.
There's
right?
2 softball fields there that
And
aren't
then a
used.
swing set.
And a playground up front, yep.
But no soccer there, right?
No soccer, no.
We would looked at making that a dedicated soccer park,
Right.
but then that fell apart.
North Metro said they didn't need it when they came to our meeting.
Yep.
They said they had all their fields in Oak Grove set aside right now, so,
Well, that's not irrigated yet either, so.
yeah, it gets pretty dry and sandburs out there.
Yeah.
There is a track and field group that might be using it for some track and field events, but
Yeah, they talked about that.
That might be a good park for one of those, the sky zip liner, right? 'Cause there's,
the zip
Lots of-
line,
yeah, 'cause there's a lot of room over there.
I've got one, after talking about that and I've got one added to Booster Park on them. If you wanna go to the next page, we have a zip line for Booster Park West. So we did, have a lot of requests for that after people went and looked at the one in Blaine. And it would fit perfectly right next to our playground in Booster West. We got a perfect spot for it, so I think that would be a nice draw for that park. People I've talked to drive from Andover and all other cities did that one in Blaine to go on that zip line over there, so,
The one in Lexington?
yeah.
Yeah. It's nice. It's a nice area.
Is that the cost again, 25 grand?
Yes, yep. The Baton Street Trail segment, that was the last section. We have 120 budgeted. That was based off of some other planning. I don't know if that's gonna be enough, but we're gonna put it in there for that. I need to have the engineer work on that one with us, cause there's some wetland impacts there and some slope issues that are probably beyond what our staff can handle. So that one's probably gonna have to be, at least a portion of it's gonna have to be contracted out. But that would extend the trail then all the way down to 222nd, and we basically have that part done that was planned back in 2010, I think it was, originally
Yeah.
planned for.
Wow.
We've been working on that little area for a long time.
In 2026, as we mentioned, the zip line, pickleball courts at Booster Park, that's been a big request that's come into us. I don't know if you guys have heard that as well. We do have the painted ones on the tennis court out there. There's some big cracks forming in that tennis court again too already. We just had it resurfaced a couple of years. It's been about 5 years now, but it might be, when we had them out last time, they kind of said, you know, you can keep trying to patch us, but they recommended tearing it out and starting over on that one. So we kind of thought maybe we could do, I don't know if you remember the one that we saw over there at the Hugo facility. They had 2 pickleball courts and then one really nice tennis court next to it. I really like the way they had that laid out. That might be something to look at for Booster Park.
And then get rid of the basketball court then there, or move it?
Yeah, do you ever see anybody use a basketball court?
Yeah, they do.
Okay.
They do at the beach.
Well, we could separate the pickleball courts over to the other side of by the playground on Booster West or something too. There's
How big
plenty-
is that cement pad where,
For pickleball?
well, for the basketball court, if we moved it over there? Too small?
Moved it over to Booster West?
Booster East, where the schoolhouse was supposed to go.
Oh, that's too small up there, yeah. Yeah. The burnout pad?
Oh, we have one of those out at our place. Where does he come out?
And then we added the concrete bag toss cornhole game at Booster Park. We had 4 of those listed to set up kind of an area to do multiple games at once. I know during Booster Days that was a big event, the cornhole tournament. So we do have the horseshoe pit up there. There again, I haven't seen anybody use those in a long
Yeah,
time.
I haven't seen anybody use those. I know at one time we had talked about doing those tables for chess.
Yep,
Permanent tables that older people could use.
that could be something we could add over there as well. They're not too expensive. They're, I don't know, $1,000 I think.
It's kind of a cool idea.
I think there was an email not long ago too about the disc golf.
That was,
Couple
yeah, I
of
set
those.
out,
Couple of those, I don't know what they're called, target things.
Yep, so they're about $500 for a permanent goal. We kind of talked about it at the town hall meeting, but the key is just finding a location for it. You kind of have to set them up where they're not going to interfere with an existing activity or fly into traffic or into a playground where kids are playing. So that's the difficult part, is finding a spot. We could find, for a couple goals, we could easily find a spot out there over like where that water ball course used to be. You could put one there. But
Even for that price, Bondi could
yeah,
have
I
a
was just
couple.
thinking,
I was
if we wanna
gonna
add
say, what
something to
about that
Bondi,
one?
we could do it there.
one problem, I actually built and designed the one at the Ham Lake Park, and we had some initial theft that took place there, so we ended up having to go through and hard weld all of them together, so they couldn't be taken. And after that, it seemed to be pretty good. But it gets a lot of use. That's probably one of their busiest activities there besides the athletic fields.
And I can attest to that, cause when my son played baseball,
You see all the
you
people
could see all the
walking,
people walking.
making the loop around there.
And the dogs that wanted to play in the outfield too, so.
Yeah, you gotta have to find a spot where it's not gonna, the discs aren't gonna fly into the baseball game or into the park or across the street.
Mm.
So that's kind of the tough
Even to
part.
have a couple of them up somewhere, just to see how much use they
Yeah.
do get, not necessarily a full course to see.
Right,
Yeah.
Just,
just for them to play
Something
when
to-
they're maybe,
If you're having
doing
a
something
picnic
else.
or something, we could even do
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
at John
Yeah.
Anderson or,
So you wanna, should I add that in there for, do 2 at Booster Park and like 2 at John Anderson?
Yeah.
sure.
I can just add that into those line items.
For which year?
That would be 2026 for Booster
Okay.
West and 2027 for John Anderson. John Anderson gets a lot of rentals, so that would be a good thing for that park.
What year?
2027 for John
Oh,
Anderson.
okay.
So that would raise about $1,000 on each of those. And we are keeping it at $100,000 for the budgeted amount from the capital transfer. If the commission's okay with that, if they wanna see more, we can always ask for more.
More.
Let's ask for 125.
Bump it up
I mean,
into,
how long's it been that way? Where,
we got it up to 100, last couple years, I think, is we finally got it
yeah,
back
it
up
used to be,
there.
don't you remember when it used to be 0, 0, 0,
Yeah.
0? We
It
couldn't
was-
even
it was
make the
100.
repairs.
In 2010. And then it went down to, like, I think 50.
40,000, I think they gave us, something like that,
50?
50.
50. And then it mostly was for repairs.
Yep.
At that point, yeah, you can barely keep ahead of repairs at that point.
And we, been slowly building it back up. I think we got it back up to 100 maybe last year, the year before, something like that.
It's been a couple of years.
Yeah.
It's always good to ask for more.
Well, they
Whatever you
forget
guys
about
wanna
us.
recommend.
Well, we've had a lot of inflation over this last
Yeah.
year. There's a really good reason to ask for more.
I can tell you that's a common theme across all of our, we're doing the budgets for all of our stuff right now.
I bet.
We're not even keeping up with inflation on a lot of the stuff.
It's
sure not.
ridiculous. I don't know how you do
tough.
it.
So is there a dollar amount you'd like to see in there for specific years, or is there any recommendations?
Can we do a percentage increase each year?
How much?
10.
10%?
So it'd be 10,000 the first year, 11,000 the next year, basically. Quick math.
Math
You
is
could
not
just
my
say
forte.
increase it by 10,000 every year up to 150 or something.
Well, there you go. I like that. Yeah.
Keep the numbers nice and round and easy to.
Yeah. We're at 111,000 now.
Add 10,000 a year.
All they can say is no.
So beginning in 25 or 26?
25.
Too late for 24.
Yep,
Yeah.
24 is
Yep.
out the
Yeah,
door.
25.
25.
Start out
Go
strong.
110, just go 110, 120,
130, 140, 150.
yep, okay.
We're all caught up now, once Coon Lake is done, right, with new equipment
All of our
turnover?
playgrounds will be
Yep.
fairly up to date, so we got a pretty good, break now before we'll need to take care of that. That would just be if there's new parks that come in, would be the only time we'd have to be, the oldest one will probably be John Anderson at this point then. That one's still pretty nice.
So all the old equipment that was metal is gone, that
All
kept
the-
breaking,
Yeah, yep.
Good.
the dangerous stuff.
We're still gonna, we'll still have damage to some of it, like vandalism, stuff like that, but won't have to do total replacements.
It's
hopefully.
all up to the 21st century,
Yep.
after 20 years.
So we can start looking at other projects at that point too.
That would be nice if we could start doing some new things.
So are we good on this?
So I've got those changes marked on here, basically, adding the 2 disc golf courses at Booster Park and John Anderson. And increasing the annual transfer by 10,000.
Yep.
That looks good. Take a
Where's the next trail segment then? If we get Bataan done, what's the next one we're gonna tackle? We should be thinking about it,
Yep.
cause
Right.
if we're gonna get a trail done, we need
Well, I did
to-
talk to that one guy, or that couple about Fish Lake. They wanna know if they can get something up there.
To make the whole loop.
Somehow make a bigger trail or a bigger, they said, cause you just get up and then you had to turn around and go back.
I thought we couldn't, go all the way around because of the U. Right? Isn't that what the deal was?
Well, I think the biggest part is that you have to cross the county road twice,
End up
and then you
in-
have to go through there's private property.
They end up on the county road, basically.
That's
I
not
go
so
in there?
good.
So right now you park, here's the trailhead.
Mm-hmm.
You walk down the trail to here. You can go up to here, this direction. You can go all the way around through these boardwalks.
Right now you can do that?
Yep, and you end up about right here.
Oh,
That's not so bad.
Yeah, I was
But
gonna
then
say,
you have
they
to
made
turn,
it
then you
sound
have
like
to turn around and go
there's,
back. It's a really nice trail.
Problem with 76 running right along the water there, to get around all the way around, you're gonna have to cross that county road twice.
Yep, so you have to get across to the other side. There's no room on this side of the road for the trail. It's right up to the shoreline.
yeah.
I don't like that.
So you'd have to get over here. This part's a swamp, so you'd have some kind of boardwalk through there.
Right.
But then when you get over here, this is private property.
Now, is that private property all the way down the lake there?
These are, I think these are still, yeah, these are all owned by the U still. It was like a weird platted, oops, I just closed out of it. A weird platted development at the U of M.
was that for their scientists to live in?
I don't know.
'Cause
There
they-
aren't any houses there, are
No,
there?
no, there's no houses, no.
What about, Whispering Oaks, was it, that we were looking at doing that walk?
Oak Park Acres
Oak
across,
Park Acres.
yep, that one's still a possibility. The
'Cause they're
problem with that was the
building
wetland, the
houses.
wetland impacts.
Oh.
It would have to be a raised trail. They wouldn't even allow us to do a wood chip trail over the wetlands.
Northland was another one that we've
Same
kinda
thing there,
talked about, yeah,
But
crossing the
didn't they
wet.
say don't touch our park?
yeah.
Can I ask a question about the first one you looked at? This, is it a county road 76?
Yep.
Is that a really busy road?
Enormously
Not like
busy,
Viking or
but-
anything, but
Okay. I'm just not familiar with it. So when you were talking about you'd have to cross it twice, is it really a huge issue to cross it?
Sightlines are a little bad in a couple spots, depending on where you cross.
Not
Okay.
way-
More so on the east end of it, the sight line there from the corner of Hup Street,
going this way is.
right there, I mean, it's hard to see.
Okay. Just was
So
curious.
that part itself would be a little
Little-
iffy, but,
Yeah.
And people drive pretty fast around that.
oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Do they?
yeah.
Yeah, it's a
It's like a
55,
highway,
it's
like a little
55 and
highway.
they drive all of that.
Okay. I was
There's-
just curious.
Two private properties here. I think this is,
So that would be pretty difficult to extend that around, to have a full loop.
so that's the U of M regions there too. So it's basically just those two. It's been talked about, it's gonna take a little bit of, somehow you'd have to get permission. I don't know why the county right away is in here.
I don't know.
I have another really dumb question. So how far is it across that waterway? Is it a lake? Is it
Yep.
Pond Lake?
Fish Lake.
Fish Lake, that's Fish Lake, okay. I'm sorry, I'm not real familiar with this area. Would there be a way to do any kind of a bridge across, or is it just?
It's a long ways.
It's a long ways,
You're not
okay.
bridging that.
Yeah, I have no idea. I'm sorry.
No, it's gotta be a quarter mile.
I knew it would be a stupid question, so
Not a stupid
No.
question.
I just wasn't sure.
Well, there's no stupid questions if you don't know the answer.
Yeah, I just was wondering.
But
Trying to think outside
it's
the
a
box.
fair amount, a fair distance.
Yeah.
Didn't we hike that years ago?
Yes. We did.
Sue remembers.
When we could hike?
It was just kind of, rough though, you know.
We made it back to about the boardwalks
Mm-hmm.
and then turned around.
About a half a mile.
half a
Yeah,
mile.
it's a little over half a mile.
That's big. Yeah. Thanks for checking.
Yeah, I think that trail is a little over a mile, so if you go down and back, it's like a 2-mile walk.
Oh, okay.
It's not bad.
Ellen and I'll have to check that out after wood tick season.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a nice trail, there, people come from all
There's
around.
snow
If
on
you
the ground
cross-country
then.
ski, you can cross-country
Don't like
ski
white
there.
wood ticks.
I know, we had talked about doing those fishing,
Kayak.
fishing kayaks and then the docks, the fishing.
Fishing
dock-
piers.
Oh, yeah. That was for here?
This was one of the locations, there was a dock and a, let me see it.
At one time you
There's a
could,
dock here,
there were kayaks to be loaned or canoes. The guy was telling me all about it and I was like, oh,
from the U of M.
no, it was a East Bethel person.
The city of East Bethel was gonna pay for the kayaks?
No, they were already there. There were canoes or something that back in the day you could
Yeah, I think we
use.
did have that for a while, didn't we? I don't know if we actually had it or if, I remember talking about it. I can't remember. If
Yeah.
it
He
actually
said that
happened.
you could use them, that they were for anybody to use,
Okay.
but people,
Yeah.
borrowed them and didn't bring them back, so.
I'm clunking, I'm trying to remember.
Is that what that's called?
That's kind of the problem.
That must have been way back in the day.
Whoops.
Yeah, there's
I
a
forgot
dock
where
they
I got
put
it.
out right here, but to get back there, if you had a kayak or canoe, you'd have to portage it.
Oh, okay.
Well,
Back
just
there.
practice for the boundary waters
Yep.
then.
Mhm.
There you go.
Be a nice, easy
You
walk
could even
for us.
tout it that way and charge a fee.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go.
It's a
More,
non-
more
It's a
park
non-motorized lake, so it can only be kayaks or canoes.
canoes.
All right, Nate, you got your direction for that?
I got that for the capital improvement, yep, we can continue future trails discussion. Do you wanna have anything on here as like a placeholder at all, or?
Well, okay, are we gonna ever talk about John Anderson again?
Yes, yep,
Are we gonna talk about that now, or?
we can.
Yeah.
So,
You mean the continuation of the trail?
Yeah.
let me bring that up on here. So this is that trail dedication that was put in with this development, kinda like we talked about earlier about connection points. You can actually see kind of the trails that we built on this photo. This was before they were paved, but this is the actual trail. It's a really nice trail if you get a chance to go back there.
This is John Anderson.
John Anderson.
We
With
gotta get out
connection
there and
point,
check these out.
I got up with Tim it was a couple weeks ago. We were trying to get a time to get out there. I went out there and I spoke with the property owner who lives here. That was kind of the issue, cause it gets really close to their house.
Is that the gal with the kid?
Yep.
So, and then we asked Tim to bring it to this meeting?
Yep, we talked about it, for right now, we can't really do anything on this, because the same thing happened last year, it's full of oak trees in there. So we can't do any cutting until the fall. There's a huge oak tree right in the middle of the right away right here. I have to have a contractor take out, it's too big for our guys to take down, and there's a couple of small ones in this spot. Right now, it's so dry, you can walk right across here, which we were planning on doing a floating boardwalk through there, just in case it got wet. And then a paved trail out to the road here.
And this is the woman that doesn't want it to happen?
No, just because it's so close to the house.
Right.
Tim talked about some ways to provide privacy or whatever, which might have to be included.
Like a privacy fence or
Fence
something?
along there.
Yep, they were looking at a privacy fence from the front of the house to the property line here.
Was she accepting of that?
I think so.
Oh, okay.
I mean, we just kind of chatted and I explained to her that it was up for discussion again, and she was aware of it and knows that it was there. The trail park thing was there, so.
And we have that in the budget?
Well, yeah, we have not enough to do the, we didn't have the fence in the budget.
Okay.
We just basically had the paving and we already have the boardwalk pieces at our shop, the floating pontoon pieces. We were just gonna reuse those.
And you can't do anything until after the oak wilt?
Yeah, we can't really do any clearing because to get back to, we already cleared out the trail through here
Yep,
and up to about right here, except for
that
that
one
one tree.
tree, okay.
And then there's some, we didn't wanna get too close up here until we had direction, and there are some trees in here we have to trim up a little bit. It actually goes underneath these pine trees,
Okay.
and then I think this crabapple has to come out, it's right in the middle of the trail. Is that what you're talking about, Sue?
Yeah, I was just wondering if it was ever gonna start.
Yeah.
Well, because Tim was gonna talk to the homeowner. and-
Yep.
That was our little sidebar we were talking about.
Well, it's
Yeah.
been so long since we started on this project for this little trail.
Yeah, it's like, why,
Segment.
what's the holdup?
We even had the meeting there, and I don't know how she could have missed it if we told everybody.
Well, I mean, it wasn't like it just happened. I mean, now it's, what's it been, like 20 years? I mean, really,
It's been that long?
yes.
Wow.
It was, this was planned before those houses were there. So,
Slowly we move.
can we, just
Welcome to
put that on the
government.
schedule for this fall then?
Other than the fence, Nate, is the cost of the trail covered?
Yeah, we have it, it would change the starting amount on here. So you'd have to take probably another 20,000 off of our park capital.
Cause when it was approved, we already had the.
We had the money when it was approved, but it's just been sitting there carrying over now,
Okay. And it'll stay there until the segment gets done?
unless we spend it on something
Okay.
else.
All right, great.
So this was platted in 1994.
Yep.
I'm gonna propose we put it back on for next summer.
This fall.
Yeah, so then this fall, we would have to do the tree,
Yep.
and then next spring, we could go forward with.
Pave it,
Is that gonna be natural surface or
blacktop.
it is, okay, good.
And we better have enough money for that wall then, if we promised we're gonna do that.
They're getting quotes on the
Yeah,
fence.
Well, the
Right.
nice thing about that is if we get this trail segment done, then people can bike over to Bondi.
okay.
What I would like to do is actually probably have it as an agenda item, like this fall, and invite the people there just so it's all out in the open, everybody's on the same page.
Yeah,
We'll have the pricing by then set aside, but does that work for the park commission?
Yeah,
Yes.
does the
Sure.
price for the fence or the cost of the fence have to be covered by the city?
It's all, everything's negotiable.
The longer we wait, the more expensive this gets, because it used to
Would that have to
be,
come out of the parks money? I mean,
The
I
wall?
think it should come out of the city budget, not ours. If the park, if the city, if the council wanted to do it that way and they made the promise, we never agreed to any of that. We've had this easement forever. I mean,
That's, it can all be part of the discussion, yep.
yeah.
I like it.
go Sue.
she just needed to retire to get her voice.
Yeah, and like I said, it kinda connects to Jackson, and then you can get all the way down to Bondi, and actually, if you could ever get a connection through here, this whole woods is the Isani Park that's in East Bethel? Or not
Yes,
Isani, the Bethel Park that's in East Bethel.
where they used to have the Halloween trail.
It's full of mountain bike trails, it's actually really cool back in here, it's really nice, natural, rolling oak hills.
Do we have the buffalo out there this year?
They're not here this year, no.
Oh.
Oh,
So
Too many
sorry,
wood
we're putting the
ticks.
trail back in 2025, the John Anderson?
That's, you mean as far as budgeting?
Yeah,
Yeah, you probably should, just have it in there.
Officially, yeah.
That way nobody will
So I'll
forget
have it
about it.
earmarked, so the money's showing.
So you're
above
adding it
that.
to 25?
Yep.
Capital?
It's our, yeah,
I lost it.
Yeah, that's a good
It's
point,
this
Bill.
one.
Let's get that.
No, I know, I have such a mess I have no idea where anything.
You're like me, you keep shuffling.
Yes,
Okay,
that's
so
what
if-
happened.
so with those changes, anybody wanna make a motion to present this to city council with those changes?
I'll make the motion to present our plan to the council.
I'll second the motion for capital improvement plan.
All right, the motion's been made and seconded to accept the park capital improvement funds. Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Item 8, city council report and other business.
I don't have anything else to add that I can think of. Does anybody on the commission have anything?
Do we have any updates on Highway 65?
We've had very poor communication on that project, unfortunately.
Because I know in June, we're supposed to be blocked out of the entrance there.
Which
At-
entrance?
221st and 65. There was a thing sent, some kind of map that said that they would be working and we would be blocked out of that intersection.
See, they didn't send that to us. That's kinda, it hasn't been good. We've been trying to,
I don't know, but it was fun coming up there today.
Hey, I just take Lexington now. Trained myself months ago to pretend 65 doesn't exist.
Yeah.
if you can avoid it, that's the best. Right
Yeah.
now, like the road going into John Anderson was closed today, and they didn't tell us about that. Yeah, hasn't been good.
Oh, I bet.
Some of the detours are gonna be pushing onto city streets that we've, working with our deputies to make sure they're adding extra patrols in those areas to keep speeds down.
Oh, nice.
Is that going on now, like tomorrow?
Which
Yeah.
one?
Yeah, we're
John
going.
Anderson?
We're gonna go to the
Can
Green
Bonnie
Bar,
get-
I'm just wondering if we
Can
can.
We're
Bonnie
going to
and
get
Mary get
flowers
the
for the
green
park
bar
at the
back
community
on?
center.
You can
I'd
still
come
go
up with-
north, if you can take back roads and get up to like Cooper's Corner and get out to the highway there, then you'll be safe for sure,
Yeah,
but
I'd go to
Yeah, they're
Cooper's.
not that far.
Yeah, just go up a ton.
it's one lane for a portion of it. They did tell us they're gonna close down Highway 65 in both directions for 23 days.
Yeah.
From
Yeah.
Viking to Constance.
Yikes.
Wow.
So summer's gonna be fun, folks.
But you still should be able to cross at like Crosstown and Constance and Viking.
Viking, you can go east to west, but you won't be able to go west to east, cause you
Oh.
can't get to
And
the
right now you
J-turn.
can't go,
Mm-hmm.
The
North?
culvert they're replacing is right next to Viking,
Oh,
that's
is
where
it?
the big one. So their detour is to go, Cedar up to Sims and come down on 65 and then just take a left hand to keep going east on Viking. I
When
think a
does
lot
that
of people are gonna be taking
Yeah.
right
big
now,
shortcuts
it's all
on
going
that.
on
The
now.
west
Wow.
east thing though, when does that happen? When
We
does
don't
the
know.
west
We don't know the date of the start, it's sometime in June, for instance,
Okay.
23 days is what they told us so far.
I think the sign out there said like June 16th.
Does he got a sign out there now?
Yeah, they
was
got
hoping it'd be
they got a
longer.
flashing sign out there.
It'll be right when we get back.
I only have one in and out of my house. So,
In the past, of all the J-turn construction, we were part of the pre-con and included in all that, and for this project, it's been not very good.
Come on,
So they-
DoorDash.
Have they asked
Hmm?
the
Come on,
DOT to
DoorDash.
come to like city council meeting to
how's
give
it
them
gonna
an
get
update?
to my house?
They haven't
though?
showed
Yeah.
up?
Drone.
Asked them to come to the
That was at
town hall,
the,
town hall
uh,
meeting. We've had communication with their public relations person quite a bit. Yeah,
They were at the Chamber of Commerce meeting, and I
Yeah.
was there, and they went through it, and they were asking anybody, if you need any updates or whatever, just give us a call, we'll come out to
Ken
your
Bernard?
meetings, we'll come out to your, yep.
yeah, that's who we're dealing with. None of these closures have been communicated to us.
Well, I think they're moving right along maybe faster than they thought they were gonna be, so.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's hard to say, it's hard to say.
It's frustrating for us, I know that, because we get a lot of the calls coming into us, and we have
Sure.
no answer to give.
All right, anything else, Nate?
I do not have anything.
Anybody else have anything?
Hey, Serena.
I'm having a moving sale on Memorial Day weekend.
I'm just saying, keep
We got any
your
good
eyes
stuff?
on the burning ban.
For the
because-
transcriptionist, Sue is having a moving sale on Memorial Day
Are
weekend.
you moving?
No, but I'm
Oh.
downsizing.
Oh,
A garage sale.
Well, I will be moving eventually, yeah. I mean, I have too big of a house for one person, so. Gotta get
I'm just
rid
gonna
of
put
all
out
Wait
a,
till your kid decides to come stay with you.
Yeah,
that. No, I'm moving before that happens.
good call.
I would say, just via what I know from the fire department, keep track of the burning bans because we're in a drought right now. So,
I
Let's
thought
try.
we weren't in a drought. Are we?
we're on and off, depends on the rain.
It's dry right now.
But it's like grass fire season right
Oh.
now, so.
Till everything gets
Did
really
they
green,
burn
green,
up
green.
at the U a couple weeks ago?
Yeah.
Yes, they did.
They burned a lot this year.
We
That was-
already
that
had
was
the
a-
Canadian wildfires started.
Oh, that was
so-
last
Yeah.
weekend, that was fun.
Yeah.
That was a control burn, right?
Correct, yeah.
Okay.
Not
They burned the
Canada.
bison area, so that's all, it's actually already all green again
I
now.
bet
Is
that's
that why
what
the
we
bison
saw.
aren't there?
Remember that?
Their study was
was all
done,
that
supposedly they're coming back, it was a 3-year study, and they're supposedly coming back again, but not
That
this
was
year.
based on grant money too.
Correct, yep.
All right, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll
Done.
second.
All right, a motion's been made and seconded to adjourn. Any more discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Meeting adjourned.